Hey guys, welcome back. Last episode we made a mechanism fission reactor and a mechanism fusion reactor. This fusion reactor here is going to provide all of our power needs for the rest of the series. It produces 30 million per tick, but this fission reactor is a little bit lacking. We need 11 of these antimatter pellets for one ATM star. And with our current setup, it's going to take us over 2 hours to produce just one. Not to mention the fuel requirement. All the fuel we have gathered here, I even upgraded the system a bit. All the fuel we have here amounts to about 30,000 buckets, which is enough for only 3 antimatter pellets. Right now the gate is this pulverizer, pulverizing the sulfur. Even with 3 of them, it's letting us down. Plus, we still need more of this. I miscounted last episode. We're going to need about double this for plans. Plus, we're going to have to modify this to make plutonium pellets as well, so that we can actually make the antimatter. On top of all that, I am so tired of living off these chests. They have become actual chest monsters. No longer organized, and honestly, it's terrible. It's terrible! Today, we're going to fix that. But first, we're going to have to juice up the fission reactor. First up, we need to give ourselves some more space. That's better. Next, we need to expand our fission setup. Some people's solution to this is to just make a gigantic fission reactor. The problem with that is that we have to do sodium cooling in that case, which is a lot more complicated and annoying than just pumping water in through these sinks. My solution is just spam this size of reactor over and over again until we have enough fission action going on. If we use this copy-paste gadget, we can create more of these super easily. We'll just select one corner and then the other. You can see it's highlighting the selected area. If you open the menu and then click material list, it'll actually show you all the materials you need to do the copy paste. It's really convenient. Materials acquired. Now we get to pasting. Just swap it into paste mode and we can just boop, boop, boop. It's just that easy. Next up, we can plug all these in. That'll do nicely. Admittedly, this is not the fastest fission setup in the entire world. There's much faster setups. However, since this reduces the time for one antimatter pellet down to about 30 minutes, that means if we leave it running while we work on our other projects to complete the ATM star, it should be done in time and it should be no issue. All right, let's turn all these on at the same time and start collecting more polonium pellets. As I said earlier, we need about double this for what we need to do today. So let's just get that right out of the way. While the reactors are running, let's set up the system that'll make the plutonium pellets for us. The recipe for plutonium pellet is almost identical to the one for polonium pellet, except for this gas right here is plutonium instead of polonium. The way you get the plutonium instead of the polonium is that we're going to take the nuclear waste from the reactors and instead put it through a centrifuge. It's also going to require this HDPE sheet stuff. The plutonium pellets are used to make the SPS casing, which is the final multi-block structure for mechanism we need. We're going to have to make 72 pellets of plutonium, and then after that, we don't even need this setup anymore. Now, you can't exactly just break one of these setups to replace it with another one, because if you break a machine that has even 1 millibucket of a radioactive material, you're going to cause a death zone of radiation that is just a gigantic pain to deal with. I don't want to do that, so we're just going to duplicate these setups and we'll just leave them all forever and it'll be fine. I'm pretty sure that's enough polonium pellets. We can always make more if needed. Let's turn off the reactors while we reconfigure the system. We'll turn off the neutron activator. We'll pop in a centrifuge. Since everything's set up, we can go ahead and start making the plutonium. And here we go. Plutonium pellets already being made. We only need 72 of these, so this will go really fast. There we go. 72 pellets. Nice and easy. Now we can get started using them. As I said before, we're going to use these plutonium pellets to make SPS casings, which are going to make a new multi-block structure for us that's going to create antimatter. We need to make 72 of these casings. That's why we have 72 of these pellets. We're going to turn 12 of these casings into SPS ports, and the rest of them are just going to be used as part of the multi-block structure. We'll also need one of these supercharged coils. All that's left to make the SPS casings now is we need those HDPE sheets. We have everything else we need. To accomplish this, I totally repurposed our gas burning generator setup. The left half of this is basically the same. We make melons, they get crushed into biofuel and put into a pressurized reaction chamber where they become substrate and ethylene gas. The only difference is now, instead of going to a gas burning generator, we go and take the ethylene and turn it into liquid ethylene and then put it into another pressurized reaction chamber with the substrate, which then becomes HDPE pellets, processed in an enriching factory, and voila, HDPE sheets. It's pretty straightforward. We have this chemical tank here because the ethylene gas will eventually back up and stop the system, and so by putting it into dumping excess mode, it'll just prevent that from stopping the system. Cheats acquired. Let's go make an SPS. To make the SPS, you're going to make this octagon shape and you're going to fill it with structural glass. And then you're going to repeat this on all 6 sides like a cube. It'll make this funny looking shape when you're done. Next, you need to replace 3 of the glass with some SPS ports. 1 to take in plutonium, 1 to output antimatter, and 1 to take in power. On the port that takes in power, you're going to put the supercharged coil on the inside pointing towards the center. That's a completed SPS. Let's go plug it in. And here we go, all plugged in. The antimatter is going to go into this chemical crystallizer, and that's what's going to actually make the pellets for us. And as far as this power input for the actual multi-block structure, we're going to set the limit to 1 million per tick. This structure is very unique. It will eat all the power you give it. It will literally just eat it all. You can put in 100 million, 100 billion per tick, and it'll just eat it all. So it's important to limit it to the correct amount. I think 1 million is actually the maximum rate, so that should be perfect. All that's left to do now is put some plutonium in and watch the magic happen. This multi-block structure looks so cool while it's operating. Look at this. Shooting lightning and making this cool ball. Looks like Dragon Ball Z or something. It's a pretty slow process, even with 1 million RF per tick, but hey, it's flowing. And we're getting antimatter. Every 1,000 millibuckets, we'll get 1 pellet. 11 and we're ready to go. I increased the transfer limit to 2 million per tick, and it actually says that it's going faster. The documentation says that it wouldn't, but hey, I'm not going to argue with the numbers it shows in game. I did some trial and error, and it seems to keep up with our 4 fission reactors. We actually have to use 12.5 million RF per tick to keep up with this. This is the most power-hungry machine ever. Look at how fast it's flowing. Oh, we'll be done in no time. And by no time, I mean in 6 hours, but that's besides the point. I know that I said we need 11 antimatter pellets for the ATM star, but we're going to make a 12th one. The reason I want that extra pellet is because we can upgrade to the supermassive QIO drive for storage at that point. This thing is ridiculous. It holds 16 billion items. That's billion with a B. It could essentially hold everything for the rest of the time, and up to 8,100 item types. This should be sufficient for all of our storage needs for items for the rest of the series. We're already well over 100 millibuckets of antimatter at this point, so we're actually well on our way. We might as well go get the rest of the stuff prepped so that we're ready when the antimatter is ready. Oh, I forgot that our fuel's an issue. Oh, we're gonna have to upgrade this. We should do this first before we get into the storage. This fuel is going fast. Instead of using a pulverizer to make sulfur dust, the thermal series version, we can use mechanism, and we can turn blocks of coal into sulfur dust using a pressurized reaction chamber and some really simple inputs. Overall, we'll be able to make much more sulfur with less machines. I believe a pulverizer at max upgrades will make 2 of these per second, but the pressurized reaction chamber should make 9 per second per machine, which will greatly increase our yields. So I upgraded the fuel system. It's still not keeping up with the 4 reactors though, but I've added so much. I might just have to accept it and say our max rate is a little bit less than what these 4 reactors can put out. One of them might turn off due to running out of fuel at some point and then the fuel back up, but I'm not really too worried about it. I think that's fine. In the time it took to upgrade the fuel system, we've already generated an antimatter pellet. So let's just get going with this, and then we'll just let the antimatter back up over time. To start, we're going to need 64 of these regular QIO drives. Oh, they don't stack. Oh, this is more complicated than I thought. I'll just queue onto the floor and work quickly. We'll use those 64 to make 16 of the hyperdense drives. This is kind of annoying. Those will become 4 of the time-dilating drives. And finally, we'll upgrade these to the supermassive drive. Very hype. With this, we can automate everything. So to make this work, we're going to make a QIO drive array. And we're going to make 2 QIO dashboards. And we'll turn one of these dashboards into the portable dashboard. Perfect. QIO is so powerful because everything is 100% wireless and none of it takes any power to operate. You just hide this in the corner, pop the drive in, set a frequency, and now we can put all these bits and bobs anywhere. Like we could choose this wall, set it to the right frequency. This has access to all our storage. Same with the portable one. Now we can have all of our items in our pocket. We can use these QIO importers to import items from the world in like barrels or chests or whatever right into our system. So why don't we go ahead and transfer everything in right now? A lot of the items here are very heavily compacted, so I want to unpack them before we import them so they're easier to use in the system. We'll use this RF Tools crafter to uncraft things automatically. You can see I've already done it with the coal blocks, but we'll go ahead and do that for the rest of the items and then import them all into the QIO.
Much later.
All right, it's all done. Everything's all sorted and put into the QIO. Look how much stuff we have. Over 2.5 million redstone dust, 500,000 gunpowder, so much other stuff. It looks like so much more when you look at it this way. I also cleaned up around here since a lot of these systems were a little bit outdated. We have a new little crafting and storage system here. I always like having a physical QIO dashboard, or for any of my storage systems, I like having a physical dashboard. In case you lose your handheld one, what are you gonna do? You're gonna just lose access to all your stuff? And I've updated this to use the QIO. Items come in here, they get sent into the QIO, and then the raw items get sent over here using QIO. Much cleaner, much easier. Now that our power's sorted, our storage is sorted, I think it's time to start some concrete progress towards the ATM star. I think the first bit of progress for the ATM star is building the crafter for the ATM star itself. We need 55 mechanical crafters. The craft is for 3 at a time, so we need to do this crafting recipe 19 times just to get the ball rolling. Start with the electron tubes. Acquire iron plates, we'll just use the ore hammer for that, and rose quartz. We have 350,000 rose quartz from sieving. You just use it with sandpaper, and that's that. I like to make the diamond sandpaper because it has so much durability. Just need to crush a diamond. We'll just combine this with a little bit of paper. Perfect. Now we begin. I miss the old sound. It used to sound like you were eating the rose quartz. That's okay, though. We'll just craft this up and I'll be back in just a second. All done. Next, we need to combine those with brass casings. Easy enough. Just need some brass ingots and some stripped logs. We could just make some brass with the ore hammer. Super easy. Just cook it real fast. Just need to turn this rose quartz into electron tubes. And combining them all. Perfect. There we go. Look at that. Proper place to craft a star. We do, however, need the create wrench so we could spin these little arrows so they all point into the same place. There we go. Why don't we have an end in the center? That sounds aesthetic. That looks like it'll do nicely. You might as well start with the easy ingredient. The easy one, of course, is this thing in the center, the Patrick star. It's just made of vanilla concrete.
Is this the ATM star?
No, this is Patrick.
By my count, it's 16 pink concrete, 16 green concrete, 2 lime concrete, and 20-something magenta concrete. Really easy. Green, pink, magenta, lime. Now we need to turn some of it into actual hardened concrete. I think this fluid encapsulator will do the trick. Just steal this power real fast. So it looks like we need to harden 11 pink, 13 magenta, 8 green, and 2 lime. I hope I counted that right. 8 green, 2 lime, 13 magenta, and 11 pink. Now to place these all. What a weird recipe. Anyways, we just gotta plug it in, and then it should be ready to craft. I think I'm gonna be lazy and power it with like 8 water wheels. I believe this is everything we need to plug it in. Okay, that looks right. And here's the moment of truth. Oh, it's working. It's so slow. Oh no. It's okay, it's working though. We'll have to use this crafter like twice ever. Oh, it's an infinite loop. Hold on, that's anticlimactic. Oh no, it returned the items to me. Ah, frick, hold on. Okay, now it should come down and out the bottom here. Okay, for real this time. When I place this, it should go off and actually craft. And there it is. The Patrick star. Where did... Oh, the magnet grabbed it. I thought it just disappeared. And there we go. 1 bit of the ATM star done. Only 54 to go. I think the next thing I want to knock out is this dark matter block. It should be pretty easy, actually. It sounds complicated, but it's not. We just need to get a whole bunch of this Aeternalis fuel and some Aldemodium. Not that bad, really. In total, we need 13 dark matter blocks, which means we need 52 dark matter, which means we need 52 Aldemodium ingots and 8 times that Aeternalis fuel. You can see, though, it has an EMC value. That means we can make it using the transmutation table, even though it looks like we have to hardcraft a few to start. But the transmutation table will allow us to shortcut the whole process. Only catch is we need some vibranium. Guess we're going on a field trip to the Other. So to get to the Other, we have to place this teleport pad thing in the Nether. Luckily, it's cheap. Let's not forget our trusty destruction gadget, of course. Though the QIO works in any dimension, so we don't have to worry about forgetting anything. According to the quest, we can find vibranium from y equals 0 to y equals 20. So my plan is just to go troll around with the destruction gadget until we find some. Should be pretty simple. Don't forget our silk touch. Let's go see what the Other's like. Well, here we are. There seems to be lots of sand. Also didn't leave a portal home. Is that soul sand? Interesting. That's quite a lot of soul sand. What's this? Crimson Nylium and Pigland? Demonic log, demonic leaves. I have a feeling I'm gonna need that at some point. Ancient dirt. I feel like I read something about that. We'll come back to that later. Now, I believe somewhere in the Other here, there's some kind of a pyramid structure that we need to find. Let's turn our throttle up to max and go look for it. Is this what I'm looking for? I guess we'll keep this in mind in case we need something. Looks like we have the equivalent of the blue nether forest here. Good to know they're both here. There's actual blazes here too. What a weird biome. Just how rare is this pyramid structure? Oh my goodness, I've gone all over the place. I just remembered we have a structure compass that'll probably help us. I think this is it. Alright, off we pop. Oh yeah, this looks like the place. Looking for a mob called Pig Lich. Oh yeah, that's them. Alright, these guys are important. We're gonna have to farm these guys at some point. Can we just demolish this pyramid? There's so many spawners. I think this height of the Crimson Planks is the floor level of the structure, so let's just build a spawning platform here. Oh, I should have kept better track of the bounding box of the whole place. All right, I think I got the bounding box right. We'll be back to farm this here in a bit. But for right now, we're just going to clear out the spawners, check the loot, and move on. Farming these piglet hearts is very important. They're using these alloys, and we need many, many blocks of, I believe, this alloy to complete the ATM star. So we're going to make a farm for this. We're going to use the industrial for going crusher, but that's a future project. What the heck kind of book is this? Feather Falling 7? I believe using this enchantment extractor, we can actually pull all those high-level enchantments off of the gear, and then we can apply them to our really good gear. So it's definitely worth keeping all these items. Most of these chests are empty, which is weird. I wonder if it's some kind of generation error. Pure Fishing 4. Kills with a thrown trident might catch a fish. What kind of enchantment is that? Alright, we prepped the spawning area. We'll be back to make a farm here in a bit. But until then, let's go mining. Get out of here, Blitz. Oh geez, Falling Sand is pet FPS. This place place is really ore rich. There's tons of diamonds and stuff. Too bad we already have infinite. Alright, this is what we're looking for. Vibranium ore. Oh, you need all the Modium pickaxe with Silky Touch. We'll just not silk it. It'll be fine. We're not going to get the benefit of fortune, but... it could be worse. We don't really need that much of this stuff. So I don't really have an issue with just going for an extra little bit of a mining session. Oh, look, I need to get torches. I forgot we need to be able to see. This should be enough. Is this a lush cave? What the heck? This vibranium ore seems pretty rare. Maybe it's rarer than I thought. Really wish I prepped night vision, but I didn't think that far ahead. It just occurred to me that we have our entire storage in our pocket. We could just make a brewing stand here. Oh, the water's an issue. Can we put it in a cauldron, though? Haha, got him. These blitzes are super annoying. Night vision. Let's increase the duration. These mobs are just annoying. They can't even hurt me. Ah, much better. Alright, we have 24 minutes to find some of this ore. Hopefully that's enough time to find a good amount. How could I pick up water from here, but I couldn't place it? That's cursed. Oh wow, a 2-vein. Huh? A 4-vein? I had no idea this even existed. I just realized I can just enchant my stuff here with all these books I got. I should see 6 to speed this up. Oh, it's so much better. They're wasting so much time. Alright, in the end, we got about 2 stacks of vibranium ore, which we can do a little bit of a cheeky double like this. Just about 4 stacks of vibranium, looking good. Why don't we start by upgrading our gear? Shiny. From 125 armor toughness and 15 armor to 250 toughness and 30 armor. This is ridiculous. Actually overpowered. Oh, that's fancy looking. Now we should have no trouble making this transmutation table. Then we need to make some dark matter. So it's pretty easy. It just comes from coal and the philosopher's stone. Come to think of it, we probably don't even have to use EMC to make this stuff. We have so much coal in this system. Why don't we just craft it using QIO? We'll just spam a bit of this. Spam a bit of that. Okay, never mind. This is annoying. We're using EMC. There's our transmutation table. And now, if you haven't seen Project E before, you can put items in on the left that have an EMC value, and it'll like record them, so you can make them forever by spending EMC. You can think of EMC like a currency. So I can take this Aeternalis fuel, which has an EMC value of 8,000, and learn it. Then we can burn things in this little burn slot that also have EMC value and buy more of this stuff. Now, one thing that we have an abundance of that does have EMC is this Certus quartz dust. We get this from sieving, so we can just kind of burn it. Burning it automatically learns it as well. And then we can spend our 1 million EMC to buy this stuff. Now, as I said earlier, we actually need to make 52 dark matter. Each takes 8 of these, so we're going to need about 400 atonals. So we're going to have to spend some more certus, but it's fine. It'll just be a short process. $538, that's plenty. And there we have it, 52 dark matter. 13 dark matter blocks, and we can just put these right in here. Not very visible, are they? It's not very visible, but we are making progress on the ATM star. I am quite pleased. Plus, we look fancy. Look at that. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. We made humongous progress today. We upped our fission production. We are making antimatter. We switched over to the most powerful storage system. We went to the other. We got some vibranium. And we made some concrete progress on the ATM star. I'm so jazzed. In next episode, we're going to be making even more progress. Expect to see this star even more filled by the end of the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Really helps me out. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye now.